what is your role, they are able to hold you accountable. But our take is to say, we need to build an economy that is owned by black people. Because when you go to China, people who are in charge of the Chinese economy is Chinese. You go to Russia, it's the Russians who are in charge of the economy. You go to America, it's Americans. You go to the Arab states, it's Arabs who are in charge. But when you come to Africa, Africans are in charge of nothing.
Comrade Liberator, you're also strong on education.
Yes.
And I've seen you doing programs on education. Tell us about education.
I think in terms of education, this educational system has failed South Africans. Most of these problems that we have is because our people were not equipped enough. Because it can't be correct that you have someone who come from Mozambique or Zimbabwe, they come to South Africa. They're able to survive under these economic hardships. A South African cannot survive. Now I think our people are not equipped enough to survive in South Africa. Basically, it's like when you take a soldier into a war who's not well equipped. Mm-hmm. So what was it? We have two choices. The current government, it's either they transform the educational system or people must reject it. In 1976, people rejected the Bantu education because they were fed up. So now we have two choices. Is either the government transform this thing. If we mobilize enough, we must mobilize people to reject it. I was with some student of University of Limpopo. We have a branch there of our student wing in University of Limpopo. God, most of you here, what you are studying, you know exactly that you are going home. You are going to sit at home. You are going to the streets because there's no demand of these things. Back then, I remember when there was shortage of teachers. People were pushed to go start teaching. But you knew after you finish, you're going to get a job. Why are we still funding a student to do a qualification, which you know this qualification is not on a demand? You go spend over 500,000 to $1 million on a student who's going to sit in the streets. What type of investment is that? Because when as much as we need to allow democracy and people must have choices. But if you want to start something which is not in the market, we must not fund it.
Let's talk about your foreign policy, especially the problem that we're having in current day South Africa, where if a sectoral determination says we'll give you 1 million for cutting this grass, foreigners will come and say, I'll take it for 200 rands. Mm. And of course my example is exaggerated deliberately.
Yeah.
What is your feel about that? Because I tell people, as an African, and I'm pro-African, I tell people that we must not allow an economic system that says, let's exploit these people for a job. As Africans, are we that desperate to reintroduce slavery in terms of wages? Mm. I want to understand, where do you draw the line in your Pan-Africanism?
Yeah, no.
Please explain it.
No, as much as, like you said also, we have no issues with our fellow brothers. Even when we build these industries that we want to build, we want our people to be able to export to other African countries, meaning that the relationships are very important. And issue of minimum wage, it must apply across, irrespective of who are you, where you come from. Because if we have an act that is in place, approved by Parliament, people must be able to adhere to that, because rule of law must prevail at all times, whether currently it suits me or not. As long as it's still in place, people must comply with the law.
If we pay 30 rands per hour, even when you employ foreigners, it must be there.
Irrespective of who is it. But this is our take also in terms of employing foreigners. There must never be any industry where people who are not from South Africa dominate.
Okay.
Example, what is happening in retail.
Yes.
Most people who are employed in retail are from Mozambique. Mm-hmm. That cannot be correct. So I was saying there must never be any point. Same thing with spaza shops. Mm-hmm. There must never be a point where Pakistans or whoever or people from outside are dominant in that particular space.
156 billion, that industry of spaza shops.
Yes. So that
we don't own it.
That thing must be regulated. Now I'm saying, if they come here, they must still survive. Mm-hmm. Well, otherwise they will steal. Mm-hmm. But maybe we must put a cap where we say we can allow only 30% or 25%. 75% must be South Africans. But also South Africans, they need to be organized. Because once they go into that particular space, they must be able to give our people quality food at a right price. Because we don't want you to say, these ones must move. Then when you're left, you then sell us a bread, loaf of bread, 50 rand. When you know it's 20 rand, because you know now you're the only player. So our take is that South Africans must just be organized, because currently they're not organized. How those people beat us is because one, they work as a collective. If it's Coca-Cola, they have one account. So they're able to get a bulk discount. Right now we go buy 2-3 crates, bar. Because we don't want to work as a collective. We see ourselves as competitors. Can't everyone has their own market share in their own area? So we need to be able to organize them. Because that space, we can't leave it untapped. 150 billion, we can't leave it untapped.
In many African countries, Zimbabwe included, Uganda included, it is I'm going to phrase, I'm going to coin a word here, a constitutional sin to be from the LGBTIQ community. What's your take on that?
No, I don't have issues. We're fine with them. We don't have any issues. Support whatever they are doing. Even one of my business partners is part of that particular community.
Yes.
So personally, I have no issues, and even as an organization, we are fine with them. They are even allowed to come participate in our organization. We want them to participate in all structures, like any other liberator.
Okay. What's your issue? You know, Sankara is big on non-sexist community. What's your issues with females? I've seen few faces. Very, very few. Your party still looks male-dominated. What's your take on that?
No, in terms of, because currently we have interim structures. Our constitution clearly stipulates that it must be 50-50 in terms of representation between males and females. Meaning that female liberators will be given an equal opportunity to contest for the space. But we're clear it will be 50-50 in all structures, even in terms of representation in parliament. We'll make sure that females are represented there.
Okay. Should you run into a problem where, and I've seen it happening, you have binded yourselves with a constitution that says the gender parity must be 50-50. You find less liberators coming to bite the cake, and you find yourself hamstrung by your own policies that says you must be 50-50, and few females participate as liberators. What must happen?
No, I always say in South Africa there are a lot of women who are capacitated, and I always say
don't let me qualify. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the capacity. I'm talking about them not being in your fold.
I'm going there. Just that I started there.
Okay, sharp. I wanted to correct the question.
No.
I don't want it to be misconstrued.
This is what I always say to people, to say, is when you're in elective conference, it's not a must to fill all the positions.
Okay.
If we feel that the caliber of liberators we need are not in the house, it's okay to leave vacancies.
Okay.
And you go and headhunt people who are participating actively in the community. Because there are people who are activists in the community who are doing very well. So you need to go and be able to headhunt such people and bring them to the party. Because if you